Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a diamond in the rough for you guys today. His name is Nyler Miller Levi. He's a cornerback out of Minot State. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you for having me here. Nice to meet you too.
So, coming out of Minot State, surprisingly, we've actually seen some guys come out of Minot State lately and find homes in the NFL, and you might be the next guy. So, why don't you go ahead and kind of set things up and tell me where you're from and just kind of start walking through things a little bit. So, go for it.
Yeah, well, I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. I started off playing football when I was 4 years old, and I always been real competitive. Where I used to cry even every time we lose. I used to be the one kid that cried. So throughout, so I played football throughout my whole career until like my sophomore year of high school. I decided to take a break. I wanted to go more to the basketball route, but then junior year I came back, had a had a decent season. Still getting my feet wet, getting my feet back wet. So knocking off the rust, and then senior year I had I had a better season going into it. So then Minot State, Minot State recruited me. Was like the only school that I remember giving me a real offer at the time. I had schools that had interest, but no offers was really on the table.
Interesting. Well, I mean, but obviously Minot State is where you've called home and you've made the best of it, while you've been there. I mean, but let's just kind of go back a little bit and chit chat about some of those things. So, again, just a recap uh, from Las Vegas, Nevada. They're now where the Raiders call home. Obviously, growing up, man, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you were a fan of some team, but I don't know if it was the Raiders back then. But who were you a big fan of growing up as a kid?
Growing up, I really liked the Oregon Ducks. I never really watched the NFL as much as I gotten older,
All
but
right,
I remember my mom used to tell me all the time when I was little. I used to pop in the VCR tapes and just watch NFL film all the time.
VCR tapes. That's really dating
Yeah.
people. Because I mean, dude, I think that that predates you, quite honestly. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Um, so, Canyon Springs High School. What do you remember most about your time there? You have any fond memories you could share?
I just remember just with the team just bringing the brotherhood together. Just I remember the year before that, the year I didn't play, it wasn't the team was still trying to get back on their feet, new coaches coming in, and then the coaching staff with Coach McNair, Jamal Brimmer. I think they brought in the team, brought us together even closer, and just helped us produce to bring in a better season than what happened in the last 2 years.
Cool. And you'd also share that you did some other sports. I have in my notes that you were a track athlete and also did some basketball. So, how do you think those things translate to your game? I mean, even moving into your college days, I mean, did they help you at all?
Uh, they definitely helped me because I used to run track when I was little for about 2 or 3 years, and when I was on the field, I would never get tired, so I would just stay on the field. So that to kept me being at my best when I needed to be at my best.
Well, I mean, you need some stamina. So I definitely feel you there. So cool. So basketball, track, and then of course some football there in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then of course after
Mhm.
that, Minot State. So obviously they were the school that took a chance on you, man. Uh, Talk to me about Minot State for people that don't know it, and what makes it so special for you. So go for it.
Minot State, I would say in the beginning, it really wasn't the place that I wanted to be. I was still going in between of whether I want to play basketball or football. So the first year was not the I wouldn't say the hardest year for me, but just staying focused at the school was really my problem that I had. So just being there, just the journey that I've been on, which was a must was a bet journey for me for best. Dang it.
No, dude, I understand. I mean, there's a lot going on there. I mean, you get a kid from Las Vegas, Nevada, and you pluck him from there, and then you drop him in Minot, North Dakota. I mean, there's a huge like culture like change, man. I mean, that had to be tough, right?
The culture there, I would say the culture is it's a real good culture there. When I was there, I had good I'll say good leaders that I've seen from my freshman year. I don't know if you remember Keontae Godot. He was one of the older corners that I seen that was there. So I watched him make his plays and just work. So I seen his work ethic, and then I just seen it, and I was like, I need to replicate that and be better. So I talked to him on the not on a daily basis, but whenever we get to talk, we get to talk to each other. And I got to break his record this past season for most picks in the season. So that was a great accomplishment.
It's always nice to hold a record, and you got to give props to the people that come before you for sure. So,
Yeah.
um, buddy, just kind of speaking along those lines, I do remember a few seasons ago talking to Sebastian Gutierrez, who made it to the NFL out of Minot State. I mean, so there are some guys who do make it to the league coming out of there who have kind of paved the way for you. Um,
Mhm.
any other thoughts about those people that were there before you that kind of were those veterans at the time?
Yeah, Seabass, he was a great leader. When he was here for his last season, you can see his maturity of being from his freshman year to now, because he started off as a tight end and got integrated to a tackle. So just trying to be the leader of the line at that time. Just watching him come to practice like a professional. It just affected all of us around that time.
Yeah, and then of course right now, dude, you're one of the leaders now. I mean, you're one of the
Yeah.
guys who I know a lot of young talented guys are coming in. They're looking up to you as veteran now. I mean, you're the one who's got to be setting the example for them. I mean, how does that feel now being the guy there in that secondary?
It's still something getting used to. I'm usually the one that don't like to. I'm not the real vocal leader, so being there, having to be a little bit more vocal is just it's something to grow into, and I'm trying to grow into the role more and more. Just trying to help out the younger kids, just helping them get their technique right mentally, getting into the playbook, and it's it's something I started to enjoy because you see them develop and you just know that one day they're going to be better than what they started off as, and you had the influence on them.
Great. So, obviously you've been a crucial part of that defense, forcing turnovers and such, and also on special teams as well. But let's first talk about some football there on defense, man. Can you describe that defense there at Minot State and what you guys are doing out there?
Uh, this year we want to be more of a multiple defense, so different fronts, way more different coverages. At the beginning, my freshman year slash sophomore year was more just a cover four base team. Now, and just getting multiple looks, getting pressures out of different ways to bring pressure. So I'm very excited for that this year coming up.
And again, you are one of the I guess best corners really if people think about it, one of the best corners in all of Division II. So with that, I mean you are kind of locking down your side of the field, so to speak. But I just kind of want to hear it from you. I mean, how would you describe yourself as an athlete out there? I mean, what kind of corner are we looking at here?
I'm really mental. I like to see what the splits are. I really watch film, so I just try to get the little things out of any receiver, even if it's just they're switching their feet or just like little things like there some receivers tug on their gloves when they're about to get the ball. And I come down and be physical when I have to. I just I just like being there, just knowing that if I can do my job, it makes it a lot easier on the defense to even just make their plays. So just being there, being able to help out my team, make their lives easier.
So like you were saying, as a corner, I mean, sometimes you're coming down and you're being involved in such. So as a guy out there playing corner, I mean, is there maybe oh, I don't know, a guy at your position at the NFL level whom you're trying to maybe model your game after, or maybe even somebody that you're a fan of?
I like to take bits and pieces off everybody. I watch everybody from college to NFL, just watching little things. I like watching DJ Turner's film because he has a good press technique when it comes to motoring. So I like how he moves and he do it and the discipline that he has. And then I like the physicality of Jalen Ramsey. Obviously, he got the complete package. So that's like one of the go-to corners that you always got to watch.
Sure. I mean, of course, I understand that. So, and then of course, obviously, man, you're a huge contributor on special teams. If people don't know, you also, return some kicks. So, I just kind of want to get your opinion upon, those sorts of things and maybe your approach and attitude towards being a fixture there on special teams.
Uh, I just I just like to just be able to affect the game at any level. I had to play offense sometimes when we had receivers injured, so just helping out any way I can is really just it's really just trying to get the win for me. If I can help out, I can do it. I will do it.
Sure. So, kind of like way back in the old days, like when you'd see a guy like Deion Sanders coming in
Yeah.
on offense and playing a bit of everything, from corner to wide receiver to return specialist. But I mean, here we got a guy who's more or less done it all. So, do they move you around a little bit in that secondary? I mean, do you play some safety? Do you play some nickel? I mean, how does that work?
I haven't got moved to nickel since my sophomore year. I really just been at corner for the majority of my snaps.
Great. So, when you think about how things have changed over the years, I mean, you coming in as a freshman and you right now, what do you feel is like the biggest thing that's changed?
The biggest thing that's changed for me personally is just the passion of the game coming back to me. Um, it was just I just I was missing that edge the first year that I used to have, and that the edge came back my sophomore year after COVID, and I could see the complete different changes of how everything was going. Then the defense, I went through about three defensive coordinators in the last few seasons, so just getting used to each different defense is for a corner. For my job is really not too hard because I don't have too many responsibilities, but for like the team aspect wise, it's a lot to get used to.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a lot of different coaches who've switched some things up. So I mean, at the very least, you got experience of like different coaching schemes and ideas. So that is kind of a plus, honestly. To be able to say that, hey, I've had to learn all these different things over the years. But yeah, I mean, you've basically set yourself up now as a guy who could be in the league soon, man. I mean, could be one of these guys at the Division II level who can make a splash and surprise people. I mean, when was it for you that perhaps it kind of clicked in your brain that you might be able to actually make a profession out of what you're currently doing?
Well, I always wanted to be in the NFL when I was little, but I'll say my sophomore year when everything was clicking and I got first my first first team, and I just was starting to gain respect from a lot of different teams and from my peers. So that gave me the boost of confidence, saying like I can really do this and take this to the next level if I can. And then my teammate Isaiah Bigby, he always get in my head saying I can really make money. I just have to lock in and make sure I make the best of these years because I ain't gonna get them back.
I will say, however, one of the things that you got to overcome is this stigma of being a small school athlete. I mean, when guys just say that about you and they say, you know what, this kid is just a small school athlete. I mean, that he plays at the Division II level. Um, how do you respond to that? I mean, what do you got to tell these doubters out there?
I just tell the daughters that I've played with mostly all I played with the D1 talent at school before, and I just believe that D2 it's a bunch of D1 talent that just didn't either get the pan out or just didn't get the recognition that they that had at the time, and that there's a lot of good talent that I've seen over the years that I know some that made it to the NFL like Jalen Sample from Mankato, even Brandon Bolio. I used to go have a lot of battles with him. I used to love having battles with him.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of guys that come out of D2, lots of guys that come out of the NSIC. So, I mean, guys that people really need to pay attention to, which obviously we got one here in front of us today. So, Knylen, kind of give us a feel, man. Give me a couple of your best moments so far of playing there at Minot State. I mean, when you think about a game or even perhaps a play, I mean, dude, you had 6 interceptions last year. So, talk to me maybe about one of them or one other memory that comes to mind.
The first memory that I have that sticks with me is the one play that we did a fake punt, and I ended up getting on ESPN for the catch. And then just this season, like I said, breaking the record that Keontae had stuck with me, especially this season, just dealing with being hurt the whole season, not knowing if I could play each and every game, just going day by day, trying to make sure that I can be there for my team. So just those moments right there, and just have the moments of winning our first game against CSP that in our school history in D2. That was just the first time, and now we just want to keep on capitalizing on being better the next year. That's all. That's all we ever wanted.
Sure. So, want to give you the opportunity also to shout out a couple of your teammates real quick. I mean, who else there at Minot State do we need to know?
Uh, like I said, I brought up earlier, Isaiah Bigby. He's really one of the key pieces of our defenses too. The defense too. He's a big part of the leadership of the team, and everybody looks for him just for him to just get us straight, make sure we stay level headed. He's the level headed one that can talk to you to make sure that you know that like the moment is right here. Don't worry about the next play. We got a lot of transfers coming in. I feel like they're gonna make a real impact on the team, and the team is still fairly young. So I'm just waiting to see how this year goes for us.
So, definitely don't sleep on Minot State this year is what we're basically trying to tell people. So, um, Nyland, do you want to take a moment to step off the football field a little bit and get to know you as a person, the guy under the helmet? So, tell me something about you that, oh, I don't know, maybe nobody else knows. I mean, whether it be some hobbies, personal interests, passions, any special talents. I mean, but give me something about you.
Uh, Me, I'm really I love animals, so I started to really get into reptiles, even though I can't have none in my mom and dad's place because she don't condone in having reptiles. She said she'll give me one when I get my first house as a housewarming gift. What else about me? I like playing the piano a little bit. I haven't touched it in a minute, but I sometimes get on there just to have fun, just to just to cool down. I play I like playing the game like everybody do. Yeah, it's it's a good it's a good downtime for me. Just having fun playing the game. Still competitive, so sometimes it's not really really a downtime.
Cool. So interesting. Just so you said big into animals, want to own a reptile. So I'm assuming what you mean by that is like snake or something, right? I mean, you have like a particular type that you want to try and get.
I want to start off with like a ball python. Maybe get to some monitor lizards. You never know. just see how just see how it progress.
That's kind of wild, man. Not everybody likes those types of animals, but
Yeah.
we got somebody who likes it here here with you. So um, cool. And then just kind of want to ask maybe a couple quick questions, short question answer period here. So let's see. Favorite movie.
Favorite movie? The first one that comes to my head is Transformers. I love the series. I love that series. So I'll say Transformers for right now. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a TV show that you recommend I binge watch?
Binge watch. I've been watching. I really just started watching The Godfather of Harlem. 3 seasons. It's real good. I only found it because I was watching it on TikTok. I seen it on TikTok. So yeah, that's a good movie. Good series that you can watch on Hulu.
Okay, okay. Favorite snack or treat?
I'll have to say, I'd say fruit snacks. That's what we always stock up. My parents stock on up on when I get back home because I'll just go through a box of fruit snacks like it's nothing.
Okay. No, I get you. Uh, obviously a guy from Las Vegas. People know it obviously as like you know, this city with all the lights and glam and stuff. But I mean, to you, like, what's so special about it for you?
Vegas, as I've seen it grown, especially like for athletics wise, I've seen so much talent that didn't to get to make it to the next level because of not having enough exposure and seeing how Vegas has grown as to now seeing everybody just getting the scholarships that they deserve. So I just been thinking about Vegas being the underdog city slash state. I love it there. It's just I think the community is finally getting built up and being able to be seen as it was, how it should have been.
Cool. Well, obviously a guy who represents Las Vegas and Minot State very well. All American, done a whole bunch there so far. Tons of interceptions. All conference. Accolades and all those other things. I mean, dude, with all the stuff that you've accomplished so far, what are you most proud of?
I'm just proud of that I stuck to the journey that I was set on. It wasn't the easiest for me, but the journey was necessary. So I just I just think I just be thankful that I went through this journey because it helped me grow as a person.
Cool. So dude, let's just go ahead and wrap things up. I mean, I know you want to go out there and showcase your talents in front of scouts and prove that you are one of these guys that belongs at the professional level. So go ahead and tell them why they need to take a chance on you and bring you into their franchise. So go ahead and close us with your pitch.
I believe that um I just been as a player, I've just been the underrated kid of every time I stepped on the field, and I have that chip on my shoulder, and that when I bring what I bring to a team is somebody that you can depend on that's not selfish, will be selfish for the team, and will do the necessary things that need to be done to even affect the game, whether it's special teams, maybe being on the field, just anything to help the team be better. I would do it. It's that simple. It's not too hard to help your team be better in any aspect. Your role is very important. That any role is important. So I embrace that.
Yeah, I mean, again, here we have a guy who's a very athletic player. Per my notes, has a 40-inch vertical. So let's kind of throw that out there. And a guy who can be utilized on special teams and, of course, lock down his man out there on defense. But Knylen, I know you got one more season left to go. So want to wish you very best of luck this upcoming season and beyond. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on here.
No problem. Once again, Knylen Miller Levi. He's a corner out of Minot State. Check him out this season.